Hey guys, how's it going? I thought today would be a good opportunity to speak to my beginner coders. So if you're just learning how to code, you're just getting started, you're thinking you want to get into web development, software development, you're curious about how code works, this is for you. So I often get asked about if I'm learning how to code, where should I start? And I'm sure you've heard this in many other places before, but my personal suggestion and where I started was with the basics, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The reason is because those three tools will help you build a solid foundation in web development. You'll see those three things in any other area of web development that you enter. So it is important for you to lay that as your foundation. It's not set in stone, so you can of course, learn any other programming language that you choose if you want to start there, and many people do, depending on where you see yourself going. For those of you who aren't aware, HTML is the markup that is responsible for most of the websites that you see. Most of the things you see online are structured with HTML under the hood. CSS is a styling language, so there's styling rules that are applied to your HTML. So a lot of the times you will see underlying CSS to some degree on a lot of the most advanced, complex websites and other web applications and things like that. And then with JavaScript, you see that running all over the place. It can be native on your mobile app or on the web, on a website. A lot of libraries use JavaScript to an extent on the front end. And now you're seeing, JavaScript being run on your back end or on your server with Node.js. So that is why I kind of support that idea of starting with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript as your main foundation, because as you move through your work as a web developer, if you end up changing careers and entering into that as your profession, you're going to come across all three of those tools in any library, framework, any stack that you use. Templating languages use HTML under the hood. For example, if you are using Ruby on Rails and you use embedded Ruby, so ERB, as your templating language within the Rails framework, under the hood it's HTML that's being sort of parsed through Ruby, some embedded Ruby within your HTML, right? I don't know if that's the right way of saying it, but essentially you're going to be seeing HTML to an extent. Similar idea with JSX if you're using React. You're basically kind of combining the power of JavaScript and HTML within the same library. And when you're using React, you're gonna see all of that come together when you check your dev tools, when you run your application in your web browser, you see all of that going on. It's just doing it in a different way. So even though it may seem like you're doing very basic things and you're doing a lot of work to code a full page of HTML and then style it with your CSS and then maybe throw some JavaScript in there, trust me when I say that when you master that, you can move on to do bigger and better things that are a lot more fun, maybe a lot more advanced, that challenge you more. When I do tell other beginners, that this is where you should start, a lot of the times they tell me, yeah, but I feel like I'm doing the most basic stuff. When I look on YouTube, I find other developers, building entire applications that use all these complex functions, and I just don't see myself doing that. The thing is, you have to see yourself doing that, but you also have to start from a place where you'll be able to get there. So that is my suggestion. I hope this has helped to guide anyone who's looking to start their journey in web development. If any of you do have more questions on how you can get started, any suggested YouTube channels or other sort of tools that you can use to learn and self-teach, I will be doing a more involved video on a guide to self-teaching, a guide that I kind of used for myself. And also, if you guys have other questions or anything, feel free to throw those in the comments. If you liked this video, feel free to subscribe. And I'm gonna also be doing some beginner CSS tutorials as well as beginner JavaScript to get you guys sort of oriented if that's what you're looking to do. See you guys later.